Welcome to Saddle Up with Heather and Casey. This is a podcast all about women supporting women.
Our goal is to empower, inspire, and encourage you through our own personal life experiences and stories.
We will be featuring guests, some real life insights, as well as looking for some partners on this amazing journey.
Saddle up, girls.
Let's go. Welcome to Saddle Up with Heather and Casey. We have a special guest today, and his name is Anthony Sparks with Sparks Media.
Woo!
And yeah,
So maybe I'll lead into that with tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us, you are extremely successful here in this area. You own your own business. You're an entrepreneur. What made you want to do this and go in to develop your own business, especially like media? That's kind of hard, I feel like. If you don't know what you're doing, it could be a flop.
Well, very loaded question.
Yes. I'll start out with a loaded question. Guns a-blazing right now.
Yeah, boom, saddle up, ladies.
Yeah, saddle up.
I'll take a step back here. How did I get into this? I didn't want to. It just felt very natural. When I was a freshman in college, you had to take a freshman seminar class. It was like mandatory, and there was like a list of like 12. And the only one that I wanted to do was sports broadcasting. And I'm like, well, I mean, I'm playing baseball and I love sports. And we did play-by-play for sports games. So that was my first job in college, was to announce sports games, like football games.
Wow.
And it was all student run. So we did live. It was a live broadcast of football games. It was all student run, 3-4 cameras, a director, 2 announcers, replay, like all of that. And it was my job to announce football games, volleyball games, men's and women's basketball. And that's how I got into it. I like to talk. I got a big personality.
I mean, that explains the voice part.
Yeah, right? And that's how I got into it. And then we were doing like pregame shows, postgame or halftime shows. And then my really good friend was our director. He was Jimmy Reeves, 6'6", big man, and he ended up graduating. And then I was the only one that knew the ins and outs of it, so I got off in front of camera to production side, so behind the camera, running the games, directing the games.
And you enjoyed that more so than?
Yes, I didn't know that at the time. I just knew in that I needed to step up and be in that leadership role. It was like a crossroads for me. Like, do I want to be the person on camera, or do I want to be behind? And I'm glad I made that choice. And then that's what got me into the creative field. I was meeting people that would do commercials for a living. And I didn't know that was a job. I just thought, hey, you just film the news, or you're a weather gal, or, you're a baseball announcer. I didn't realize I didn't have enough data. I didn't realize, like, you could own a production company. You could work for production. Like, their job was to make commercials. And so I interned at Jamboree in the Hills. I did all of me and 3 other interns. We did all the videos up on the Jumbotron. We would do music videos. And then I was like, well, this is really cool. And I learned, and my dad always said this growing up, and it hit me, everyone's got a story, whether you like it or not. And so I moved to Morgantown right after school and dove into it. I really did.
I agree.
How did the business start? Your other question, how did the business start? My first job was with a big media company here in West Virginia, and I unfortunately was let go. I was 22 years old.
Oh.
So I just got an apartment. I didn't even move in yet.
Wow.
This is a cool story.
So I was with that company for 18 months, and someone stole $20,000 worth of equipment out of my car, and I got fired. Whether it was fair or unfair, it doesn't really matter, right? And so I didn't even tell my mom and dad or my Nana that I got an apartment. I didn't even move in yet. I just signed a year lease. And so I had to figure it out. So I just said, screw it. I'll just start a business. $50 free, 100, it doesn't matter. So
I feel like at that point in your life, when you're just kind of at a low, you have no choice.
Yeah.
I had no choice.
You
I had a choice. I had a choice. And it was to go.
Right.
To go.
True.
And it was 10 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
I was 22. I was 22 years old.
Wow.
And I was raised differently, and I wouldn't change it for the world. But depression is a luxury. And when I was going through that 10 years ago, I didn't have a choice to be depressed. Like, yes, there was 2 weeks where I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Like, cry your eyes out, drink all the beer. And then after that, it was like, well,
it was your make or break point.
Was it?
And I feel like so many people nowadays, they don't even have that. They just give up.
Yeah.
They don't go through the emotion. They don't pick themselves up. They don't be like, all right, what do I have to do?
Well, sometimes people don't understand you have to go through the emotion
You do.
to get, you got to feel it. You have to go through the emotion, go through it, and then just get through that next step.
Yeah. So, that was 10 years ago, and I just built it up. I knew myself. I knew what I wanted, and I knew what was out there. And I just said, screw it. Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm literally at rock bottom.
Right.
I'm at rock bottom, and I built myself up. And here we are 10 years later, and I've learned a lot. But it was really difficult to like figure out keeping my core values and my personality, and like, don't be an idiot. Have respect, but also you gotta freaking go. But it's really important to self-reflect. I was looking at a video, and I was reading an article last week. 85% of people are not self-aware. I don't care if you got to sit on your porch and on your rocking chair like I do every single night, go to yoga, look in the mirror, whatever. You got to make sure you are okay with the decisions that you're making and why you've made those decisions. It's the journey, and I think the motive is the most important part of why you do it,
right?
Not the end result.
Yeah,
right.
And so understanding, hey, did I make this decision the right way? Or were there others? Like, don't overthink. Mm-hmm. You're towing the line between self-reflection and like, okay, did I do okay? And if I didn't, how could I solve it? Not beat yourself up.
I also think with that reflection also comes gratitude.
Yeah.
And being grateful for everything that you have. I know for me personally, coming from a family who didn't have a lot and being able to get to the point where I am, I had a lot of self-reflecting. And then I also was so grateful for everything that was given to me, even the hard times.
Oh yeah.
Because that's where it got me to becoming who I am now. And so gratitude is huge with that. I think it goes hand in hand, the self-reflecting.
You can't change anything.
Right.
Exactly.
You can't. Right.
People say, oh, I regret that. And you made the decision. You can't go back.
Exactly. Right.
And
learn from it. If it's,
you're supposed to.
Exactly.
Like, you're supposed to feel a certain way. Emotions are really important.
Right.
And I will say the turn in my entrepreneurship is when I started to take control of everything, right? I've been an emotional person my whole life. Not like wah, cry emotional, but like happy, sad. Emotions are very, very important. Energy is very, very important. That's like my hippie coming out. But feeling and understanding why you feel this way can dictate good, bad, ugly situations. So when you have great systems and a great team, you're surrounded by success. I told my team this: processes are better than goals. Everyone at the starting line of a 100-meter dash has the same goal. It's to win. But whoever has the best process is going to win.
Amen to that.
Oh yeah.
Boom. Saddle up, ladies.
Saddle up.
Yeah.
Okay, so question for you.
Yeah.
I have said in the past that you are an old soul. You're very wise. So if you could give a piece of advice to younger people who are trying to figure it out in this cruel world, and they're trying to get, on track, and maybe they're at their lowest right now, what piece of advice would you give them to, one, keep going, and two, if they do, how do you get to your end goal?
you never figure it out. You really don't. Bite-sized victories.
I like that.
Bite-sized victories.
Right.
I to young people, I mean like 35 and younger, really, just ask questions to people.
Oh my gosh, ask questions,
because
people.
because it's not that difficult.
Oh,
hey,
I
go
agree.
find an industry leader or someone that you look up to or someone that you see as successful. Hey, we go to coffee with me for 30 minutes? Because everybody that owns a business, everybody that does something really, really well, they want to talk, whether it's about themselves, how they got there. Stroke their ego. Has nothing to do with you.
I literally couldn't agree with you more right now. I'm over here shaking my head rapidly up because I literally could not agree with you more. If you are trying to, start a business or whatever, find the best person who's already figured it out, who's who can help you, a mentor, whatever it is. Ask them if you can shadow them, if they can help you. Ask as many questions. Can I pick your brain? Whatever, because I guarantee you they're going to say yes. What do you need? I'll help you.
Come prepared with really good questions.
Yeah, come prepared.
That will be the most important investment.
Right.
Is that $3 cup of coffee.
Well, thank you, Anthony, so much
thank you,
for
Anthony,
coming on here
and having us
What
here.
a great episode. Yeah,
more to
for
come.
sure.
Looking forward to hearing more podcast and seeing you guys here.
Yes, I hope everybody has a wonderful day and saddle up for our next episode.
Thank you.